Hey guys, thanks for checking out the channel. Hit the like button if you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. And also, remember to hit that bell for notifications for when we drop new videos. Hey everybody, welcome to Boogeyman Radio. This is David and
Charles, Charlie, Charles,
in
whatever.
case you can't
No, I
read
couldn't
that
see the name, right.
right
Right
there.
there. It's a little different, up close. Anyways,
Tonight
how's
we're going to
everybody
be
doing?
talking about a little familiar subject here.
Yeah.
Really, it's just because I didn't want to do any research.
Well, I mean, I a little bit of research because
Yeah.
I'm not well equipped in this topic as you are, my friend.
I mean, like, as far as I go, because I had a pretty damn busy last 3 days and would not have had time to do any research on any other subject.
No.
So we'll be talking about Spook Lights tonight.
Yay!
In case you don't know, I've filmed a couple movies on the spook light phenomena. So I'll be talking about just pretty much about what I know and what I experienced and things like that. Talk about what's creating these things and so on and so forth. Charles?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a good show. It's gonna be informative. You're gonna have, you're gonna talk about things that I probably didn't know about, except for what was on your show. And we're gonna dive deep into it. I'm pretty excited. I know I'm not really the things I looked up. It's kind of like just an overall description of what's happening, but I know you have a few things that you kind of want to like a few specific topics you want to talk about. So,
Yeah.
which I'm totally obviously on board for. The spook light phenomenon. To me, the spook light phenomenon is it's something that it goes back. Gosh, how like long time, very very long time.
At least 200 years.
Ye olden days.
Certain places, at least, it goes a couple hundred years, if not more. We just don't know.
Right. Exactly. Well, I mean, depending on what you could have like stories of seeing lights in the sky or, lights in fields. It's some sort of spooky light. Can't explain why it's there, how it's there, what happened, but we're going to talk about it now.
It's some sort of spooky light.
Exactly. So, I mean, growing up where I was at, we didn't really have, that I know of, we didn't really have any like spook light phenomena where I was at, but I would say the most popular one that I knew of later in life growing up was Joplin, Missouri. So
yeah, I think Joplin's like in this 4-state area has got to be the most popular.
Oh, hands down. What's up, Dot? Good to see you. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting topic. I mean, tales from like Native Americans, someone wandering through the woods with a light, or what have you, looking for something, or some lost person.
Oh yeah, we'll dive into that here in a minute.
Exactly. But first,
so, how was your weekend?
My weekend was really good. Rescued a cat with a friend of mine. Well, we did it like a cat swap. A friend of mine, she's a cat rescue well, not just cat, but she's an animal rescue person.
Oh, Emily.
No. Jessica. I don't know who you're thinking of.
Emily.
Well, yeah, yes, but that's not who I was with.
I was gonna say she's She does cat rescues.
Yes, no, but that's not who I was with.
Oh.
I was with my friend Jessica, and we drove to, my goodness, Hutchinson, Kansas, which is 3 hours from where I live. Well, actually, it's like technically like almost 4 hours from where I live, 3 hours from where she lives. So we spent most of the day yesterday doing that. It was a quick cat swap. The cat that was originally there that she had let the owner of the place that we went to have was just not adjusting very well. So we had another one. Well, she had another one that she wanted to give a shot, and that's what's happening right now. So we'll see where that goes. What have you. But overall, had a good week or weekend, I should say, and week. Uh, Work was busy this weekend. Thankfully, I got yesterday off. I don't normally get that off, so I was very happy about that. Good times. Good times had by all. How about yourself? How was your week?
The week was good. I got to go do some interviews for the
Yes.
new film and everything. Did learn some stuff. I learned some really cool stuff that was not even like online
Mm,
or that you would find in what's available out there
interesting.
in information. I'm trying to be as coy as possible about it all,
Completely understand.
but I will say this: I did get to go into one of the houses where uh, uh, somebody was killed, and yeah, it was an odd feeling at first, like just walking in, but they were very welcoming. They didn't want to be on camera, so I'm kind of easing them into that.
Yeah.
But we just had a nice sit down, and um, they told they told me a lot of stuff about what happened because they were there at the time. They lived in town at the time, back in
Right.
1987. So there's stuff that I didn't know about that was probably in like court case files that I still have not been able to obtain because of some hairy situation.
Really?
Yeah, I've even gone to like the courthouse, the county
Oh, see, I
courthouse,
didn't know that.
and they didn't have it. They said that I needed to contact the highway patrol
Oh,
because supposedly the
okay.
highway patrol responded. I'm like,
Yeah.
but it still becomes a county matter when you're having a court case right there in
Right.
county. So you should have the case files.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
Interesting.
they said they were going to help me with that, but they never did.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's been
That's
a
weird.
it's been a rough road so far, but I think this film's going to still turn out pretty good. There's a lot of information, a lot of things that I'm filming for it. So
Yeah.
um, hang on a
Gosh,
second.
I hope it.
What's up, Dot? So real quick plug. I'm going to throw up the teaser for the new film. Just kind of get the word out there. If you guys want to join it on the Facebook page, it's got its own Facebook page. You guys go over there, like it. I'm gonna hopefully here soon start posting some behind the scene footage, and then maybe some updates about the film. So if you want to go over to the Facebook page and look up Evil in Elkland, you're more than welcome to.
Do it.
But right now, here's my little teaser.
It is so horrible, almost hard to imagine. A teenage boy went on a shooting rampage today in rural southern Missouri, killing his family before his uncle finally killed him.
Police found her body still covered up in bed, a bullet wound to her head.
Right now, 7 people are dead. This family is gone. The community is in shock.
There's no one left in this immediate family.
So there's that. This weekend, also, if you're going to be in the Kansas City area, anybody, head over to Lexington, Missouri.
Mm.
At the there's a ranch out there that is having a paranormal event. It's Fallen to the Supernatural is what it's called, and I will be there Friday, Saturday, and part of Sunday. I'll be speaking, I think, on Saturday, and then Saturday night I'll be leading an investigation at the Ray County Museum. and tickets are $20, but all the proceeds will go to benefit the Ray County Museum, which is awesome. It's an awesome museum. It's big too. It used to be a poor farm. It's got some really interesting stories there. I'm working on an episode of Haunting History that we shot there at the Ray County Museum. There's one story in particular that's just, it's insane. I'd talk about it, but I don't want to give anything away. You should definitely come check it out, people. I'll post a link in the comments section right now. That's the Facebook event page. So if you want to go, head over to that Facebook event page, and you can get your tickets. Get your tickets for the Ghost Hunt afterwards. I think they got me speaking about Spook Lights, actually.
That would make sense. That would make a lot of sense.
I've noticed, just because like I did the Spook Light documentaries, I am now the Spook Light guy, because there's nothing out. There's nothing else out there about the Spook Lights, apparently.
I think it's great.
So now I'm the guy.
Hey man, I was fully like ready to just let you take away the show and just like sit back and do nothing. Because you know way more than I do.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I did a lot of research, but I don't remember all the research.
Well, that's okay. That's why they go watch the documentaries.
Yeah.
If you want to know more, we're just going to do like an overall branching of some of these things. But yeah, and then I think, don't you have a video for one of them, I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to upload stuff here.
Oh.
Just to give everybody a heads up, I literally just got back from doing an interview for the Evil in Oakland. Like I literally just got back like 15 minutes ago.
That's okay.
So let's start off with, if we're going to talk Spook Lights, let's start off with like different locations where some of these are found.
All right.
Okay.
Well, let's start off obviously in the United States first, and then we can go from there. And
let me throw this out there too. You might be asking, well, what's a spook light? Because spook light is not necessarily a common term for these lights. Some people will call them phantom lights, anomalous lights, or just anomalies, light anomalies. Basically, they're these balls of light that appear a lot of times in the middle of nowhere, and there's no explanation for them. Now, granted, some sightings there are explanations for, and we'll get into those here in a little bit. But there are some that still remain a mystery. So let's go from place to place and talk about them.
All right. Do you have one lined up? Or you can
go ahead and start wherever. Whenever you get to one that I know of, that I'll probably jump in with a little bit more.
All right, so I'll just start off with the Gurdon. I think that's how you say it. Gurdon Spook Light in Arkansas. Yeah. So if drive 70 miles. Oh, I'm getting my info from Top Tens, by the way. Drive 70 miles south of Little Rock and turn east on Highway 67, and you'll be in a little town of Gurdon, home to the mysterious ghost sites. That haunt a local stretch of railroad track about 2 miles out of town. Seen for more than 80 years, some claim it's the ghost of a man who was brutally murdered near the tracks back in 1991. Others claim it's the ghost of a railroad employee who fell onto the tracks and was decapitated back around the turn of the century. And that the light is actually his lantern that he's using while he searches for his head. This particular tale appears to serve as the basis for various spook lights around the United States, suggesting an urban legend is afoot. So that's pretty common with a lot of these other spook lights.
Yeah, that's one thing. Whenever I was doing research, that was something that I found with many of them. A lot of these anomalies will revolve around a death of some sort, or there'll be a legend or a lore associated with it. Now, the Gurdon light in particular, do you have the full story about that murder?
I don't, but there's like one more paragraph I was going to finish up.
Okay, go ahead and finish that, and I'll get into it.
Killjoys, however, suggest that it may be nothing more than quartz crystals emitting electricity, although they're not certainly exactly how or why it happens, or exactly They don't know exactly why it happens. In any case, the lights are best seen on especially dark and overcast nights when apparently ghosts are most likely to be prowling around. And now you have a reason to visit Arkansas. There's plenty of other reasons to visit Arkansas besides the spook light phenomenon.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
I don't have the details of the murder. If you want to talk about it, go for it.
Okay, so what apparently happened was there was a station manager there and a train worker, a guy who was riding the train. He was supposed to pick up his check. Well, he ended up getting fired, and they never gave him his check. And that night, the station manager was kind of making his rounds, locking up and checking the tracks and stuff like that. And I guess this man came up behind him and stabbed him in the back and murdered him right there on the tracks,
That's
on the
good.
train tracks.
That's what you want.
Yeah, this wholesome story.
Yeah.
So now people believe that it's the station worker carrying the lantern and all this, and that's another common thing that you'll see throughout a lot of these is there's a lantern involved. But let's throw this out there real quick. When a spirit manifests, or a spirit could be made up of energy. Okay, let's just go ahead and assume that.
Yeah.
When energy collects, if it is charged energy, a lot of times it will emit a light. And this is kind of why Ghost Adventures goes haywire with anytime there's a light anomaly that's being seen on their infrared. They'll create these light anomalies, and sometimes they could be bright, they could be dim, they could be whatever. But I mean, it's just a possibility that a spirit could do that. But when investigating, we have to look at the possible and not the plausible.
Yep.
So what's possible is you had mentioned the crystal quartz.
Yeah. And
which is a very good possibility in that region. Mena, Arkansas is along the same highway on the other side of Little Rock from that. And Mena has a quartz crystal mine there that you can actually pay and go dig for crystals. Now, at this place, they've seen the piezoelectric energy, and that piezoelectric energy is basically when quartz crystals or other minerals get compressed by the earth, and they emit electricity and energy, and they form balls of light. They've seen them there at the Crystal Camp. Also, Stratica Salt Mine in Hutchinson, Kansas, was another good place where that happens. I've been underground. It's like 650 feet underground, and like the compression there has got to be insane. But they actually talk about seeing the balls of light in there, but it's obviously from the compression of the minerals.
Right.
So, what else do you think? What else do you think that could be? Like Gurdon, especially.
Well, I really don't know much about Gurdon, but gosh, are there any? I don't know. Are there any like light towers along the railroad tracks? Are there any like?
Well, I know
towers. Like I don't know.
Anymore. Like there's a reason we didn't investigate there when we shot our film, and that was because they tore up the railroad tracks. And it's all overgrown back through there now, where the light's seen.
People just tend to not go back there anymore.
Yeah, well, I'm sure people probably still go back there, but
probably a ditcher,
Yeah. Okay, you know what?
Why not? If people want to go,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that one was interesting. The quartz thing, especially, like people don't tend to think about stuff like that, like crystals are a really good conductor. Yeah, really good conductor or the flowing of energy or whatever. So, I mean, they talk about the what is it? They talk about crystals in the mountains where you see lightning go from, crystals in the mountains go back and forth. So, mountain lighting. All right. So the next one I'm going to read about is Silver Cliff Lights in Colorado. So, what?
I was going to say these ones are not ones that that we looked into or anything.
All right.
So I'm not familiar with these ones.
Sorry. So first spotted in 1882, these silver dollar sized bluish white lights are frequently seen dancing around headstones at the Catholic cemetery on the outskirts of this tiny little town just west of Pueblo, Colorado. What's interesting about the particular lights is that unlike most ghost lights, which are usually solitary phenomena, these appear in clusters of up to 4 or 5 at a time. They're also considerably smaller than most other spook lights, which tend to be about the size of a basketball. Like most ghost lights, however, they're impossible to chase down as they quickly fade and disappear. The lights gained an unusual degree of fame when they were featured in an August 1969 National Geographic article. Giving it something of a scientific pedigree, while various theories have been put forward to explain them, none have stood up under scrutiny, leaving the Silver Cliff Cemetery lights as unexplained today as they were century ago, whatever. So I mean, like, what do you think? So, as we know, in cemeteries, people do have light phenomenons, and then you've got grave decorations. You've got, well, I guess, but the grave decorations don't really dance around though, so that kind of takes that away. And then when they just disappears, you get close to it. Grave decorations wouldn't disappear.
Right.
So, what do you think?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, like, and this is actually part of what I guess helped jumpstart me into the paranormal was the light phenomenon. I'm trying to find this picture.
A picture, you say?
A picture, I say.
All right.
If I can find it.
Well, sure.
Years and years and years and years ago, I was watching, when I first got into the paranormal, I was watching Ghost Hunters with my buddy Mike, and we were just kind of bullshitting to each other, like, man, I wonder if there's really anything to this. And we decided, let's go find a cemetery, let's go do some ghost hunting and see what we come up with. And so we did. We went out with Mike's fiance at the time, and his sister. We went to one cemetery. We just kind of ran into a bunch of bugs, and it was annoying. And so his fiance told us about this other cemetery that was known to be a haunted cemetery throughout town. And so we went there, and normally, or we're scaring ourselves like normal amateurs, like the lights reflecting.
Did you see that?
Yeah, you see the lights reflecting off the headstones and stuff, and giving yourself the creeps. And so, like, I guess after about 45 minutes, we left. And on our way out, I stopped at the gate, and I don't remember exactly why, but I started digging through the center console of the car, and Mike was sitting next to me, and the girls were in the back. And as I'm digging through the center console, like, everybody in the car starts fucking freaking out.
What?
Like, and Mike's a big guy; he's like 6'4", 250. So if he's freaking out, I'm gonna freak out, because whatever can kill him is gonna fucking just absolutely murder me.
Take you on, no problem.
Yeah, it's just gonna go. So they all freaked out. He's yelling at me, "David, drive!" So I gunned it. We hauled ass out of there, and I asked them, what scared them, what they saw, and what they described was like this blue ball of light about the size of a basketball, had like this smokiness to it. It was actually coming towards the car. And that's when we left. So I'm like, I was kind of pissed that I didn't get to see it. I was like, you know what?
Sounds a box.
I was like, let's go back tomorrow night. I want to see this thing. I want to see it. The girls didn't want to go back. Mike's like, okay. So the next night we went back, and as we're walking through the cemetery, this ball of light shows up about 20 yards to my left, and it dances around for about 10 seconds, 20 seconds. And I got a picture of it. And then it collapsed on itself, and then showed up about 40 yards in front of us and stayed there for about 30 seconds. And then it collapsed, and we never saw it again. That cemetery was actually pretty cool. I might take you to it, or drive you through there whenever we go do our crescent thing.
Let's do it.
Let's
go for it, because I love cemeteries.
This one was kind of cool, because like there's one row where this tree had grown up, but I think it came up through a grave because there's bones coming out where the roots were. Yeah.
Cool.
It was pretty freaky. I had pictures. They're somewhere on some CDs and stuff,
Oh man.
but yeah, it was a pretty interesting place. I've literally watched mists in the cemetery form and got pictures of them as I seen them.
Yeah.
We've had objects move out there.
I've got that whole week
really cool.
off, by the way.
You got the whole week off?
I got the whole, like, all the way to November 2nd. I have off.
Oh, sweet.
So the 24th to November 2nd. So if you wanted to show me around to some places, like, I don't know what your work schedule was like, but I'm just saying.
All right, hang on. Let me check this now.
All right.
So you got Sunday off? Are you going to come down Sunday?
Yes, that is my plan.
Okay.
I'm probably going to leave Sunday, either morning or day, and then I figure.
So Sunday night we can go to the cemetery.
Let's do it.
Do a little ghost hunting.
Let's do it.
And then
I'll make sure
26th.
Well, I mean, if we're like, I know. Okay,
you might as well bring some equipment.
I was gonna say I might as well bring. I'm probably gonna bring my EDI meter, my recorder, and then I really need to get my hands on some dowsing rods. Gosh, I used to have a
John has some.
Oh, perfect. So I'll just, if you'll let me, let's do it for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I need to get a hold of some equipment. So.
We'll have to do some live stuff on here too for everybody. Boogeyman Radio, Ghost Hunting Live.
Live and on the scene.
But honestly, and it's weird that I did the movies on the Spook Lights, being that was what actually helped propel me into the paranormal thing.
It makes sense, though. I mean,
it does. It does. So
I think I should do something with, like. So to me, what propelled me into the paranormal was mainly like seeing the ghost of a little girl in my house. So I'd be surprised if something happens with that. But anyways. So next story, or did you find the picture?
No, I'm still looking.
Okay.
Actually, you can go ahead and move on if you need to. It's going to take a while. I don't think I've got it on here. I think I moved it.
I mean, I was just saying because there wasn't really much to talk about with
Colorado
anymore. Yeah, it's like pretty self-explanatory, but like I've been to one cemetery specifically multiple times, only because they don't have any posted signs on when you can or cannot be there. So we were good. So I've been there a couple times. Didn't really have any experiences as far as lights go, because it's almost really hard to tell, because when you're in a cemetery nowadays, it's just like, oh, this grave has lights, this grave has lights, this grave has lights, just like sticks. So it's almost hard to like really discern or tell. I mean, you can tell what's real, you can tell what's not real. But like, let's say you're looking at something and something happens, and you don't know it because it was probably just a gravestone light or something.
Right.
Like, you never. Like, it's really hard to tell when you're investigating graveyards. And I wish I had this picture, but there was one cool picture that I got from a graveyard where it was kind of off in the distance, and in one frame you can see the gravestone like normal. The next frame, it looked like there was somebody like the back of a head. It was like really gray, but you could see details of like hair, was like facing the other direction. And then the next frame, it was nothing. So all of a sudden, like between those three framed pictures, it was just like boom, boom, boom. It seemed like something was there and then something wasn't there. So it was just weird. It was weird.
That is weird.
Yeah. So I wish I still had that, but that sucks. But that's been my experience mainly with graveyards. I don't tend to get to go to them, except for the one that I went with you. That was really fun for the season finale.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. All right. So the next story with Ghost Lights. So Ghost Lights of Yakima Indian Reservation, Washington State. So the glowing whitish orange orb that began appearing to the forest rangers and fire watchers near Toppenish Ridge in the late 1960s were at first dismissed by local authorities as just a trick of the lights. What would be a trick of the lights in the 1960s? Like what?
UFOs.
Maybe, yeah, but wouldn't that be paranormal? It just wouldn't be like a trick, like.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I can see, if you can't explain it and you're just saying, "Oh, a trick of the lights," where's the light coming from? Something has to. Anyways, getting sidetracked here. We will.
Yeah, we'll do some stuff.
Some may be shenanigans, some may be fun, like actual happenings, but you never know.
We might, since we're going to be in Eureka Springs for a couple days. I mean, we could even do like a live during the day, just showing people what downtown Eureka Springs looks like, and it's freaking awesome.
Town, I love Eureka Springs.
Eureka Springs is a mix between San Francisco and New Orleans.
Okay, yeah, I can see it. I've never been to either one. Oh, actually, it's not true. I have been to New Orleans.
Okay, listen. Your stereotypical San Francisco and your stereotypical New Orleans.
Yeah.
That's Eureka Springs.
It's a great town. It's very homey. So culturally diverse. It's amazing.
Great
And,
energy.
oh yeah, great energy. It's a huge biker place too. Like
Yes, it is.
lots of bikers roll through there in
Jesse
September.
James
So,
every year.
yeah, Jesse James. That's true. It's a fantastic place. I highly recommend going. Weekend is obviously busier than the weekday. Most of the shops are open, or all the shops are open on the weekend. And they have one heck of a sauce store there too.
I thought you were gonna say sausage. I was gonna be like,
I don't know. Maybe their restaurants they have. So one of them has good.
oh yeah,
sauce.
restaurants. Yeah,
The restaurants there are fantastic. So be sure you go to specific ones. Some though, they're only open on the weekends. So
yeah. That's a shame too. Like, I wish we were going on the weekend.
yeah.
So we can like go live at different venues and really show what the weekends are like there.
It's
because
busy.
the weekends are the bomb.
Packed. Amazing.
They are awesome.
Well, and when we're going is like towards the end of October, so it's or not. Yeah. So we'll see.
It might still be
what
kind of
happens.
busy.
I don't. Yeah, we don't. Hopefully, I mean, okay. Well, actually, at that time, they should have all their fall and Halloween decor up. So
They'll be doing parades on the weekends anyway. So
yeah. I mean, I guess what we could do. Here's a thought. We could go to Eureka that Sunday. Spend some time there. Like just go to Eureka, stay at some other hotel, some cheap old place, whatever, or we can come back to your place. Don't care. Pillow dink around there, and then when we wake up, do our thing in Eureka for the 2 days, and then that following, you could take me to the graveyard.
Well, we might as well just go ahead and book another room for the Crescent and stay 3 days.
If it's cheaper, let's do it.
I mean, it's not gonna be cheaper, but
at least that's 3 days that we get.
Yeah.
I'm down. I'm
Grab
totally
the
down.
honeymoon suite.
Yeah.
I can see us in the jacuzzi, just like Lloyd and Harry.
Just Jay chilling. This is great.
Pilcher from Cranston? Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember you talking about her.
Plus, I've never investigated for 3 days at one location, so that's going to be fun.
Oh, we don't have to investigate at one location.
Well, true.
I'll set us up at the basin. We can go to the cemetery in Eureka Springs.
Oh, man. It's a paranormal dream trip here.
I could probably get us into the underground, too.
I was hoping we could get, if that can happen, that would be amazing. But, all right, so back to the...
Yeah, we're like...
And we're just openly... Yeah.
Stick to the fucking subject, guys.
Right, so back when I said trick of light, all of that changed when Chief Fire Control Officer Bill Vogel not only spotted the thing himself, but took numerous photos of it as it danced and raced among the trees. What's most interesting about the light is that according to Vogel, who had the chance to observe the phenomenon through the binoculars for nearly 90 minutes before it finally disappeared. This is
the one in Colorado?
No, this is the one in Washington State, Yakima Indian Reservation. This is what's
the name of the reservation?
Yakima, Yakima.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So Vogel is that it had what appeared to be a mouse-like tail or antenna protruding upward from the top of it, which is interesting. Right. The antenna, as long as the object itself, was segmented into colors of red, blue, green, and white, which were consistently changing brilliancy and hue, leading many to assume it was possibly mechanical or even extraterrestrial. Aha! You did say aliens earlier. As a result, it soon became attention of the UFO community and was even investigated by none other than the famous ufologist J. Allen Hynek, who concluded the lights were inexplicable. Today's the sightings are far less frequent, suggesting that whomever or whatever is behind the mysterious lights may be growing tired of their little experiments and they're now content to move on. So that's interesting, right? So ufologist has looked into it.
There's a reason why I was asking what the name of that reservation was. Guess what's right by that reservation?
What?
Mount Rainier. Known for UFO sightings.
I was about to say, what's Mount Rainier? But okay.
Known for UFO sightings, cattle mutilations, stuff like that.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so did we talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. See? I don't have the best memory on things, so goes in one ear and right out the other. Anyways, yeah, that's very interesting. I mean, he probably was out there investigating the mountains, too. Think about
Yeah,
it.
and it falls. That's a prime example right there of that theory that I brought up in the second film, which I'll even talk about it on here, but
Sure.
we'll talk about it a little bit later
Okay.
as we get into this. I do have a really cool theory that does lend to that particular one there too. So
what do you? Do you think it could be UFO?
it could be. Could be UFO.
That antenna is a very interesting thing, and they don't really do other sightings really talk about that?
No,
So that's very unique in itself.
unless it was legitimate ball lightning, because ball lightning happens at a certain altitude.
Ah, fair.
In particular, like the Hasdelin lights, those ones.
Which is conveniently the next one I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and talk about the Hasdelin lights real quick?
All right, so they were first observed in 1981. These strange white lights that appeared periodically in a small valley near the town of Hasdal in Norway. So concerned residents of the area that they tried to get the Norwegian government involved. Alas, no officials within the government were willing to do anything, leading several researchers to organize their own scientific study of phenomenon, which they dubbed the Hasdalen Project. Geez, I'm having a tough time today. It proved to be successful, unusually so for such ventures. In just 1 month in 1984, investigators spotted the mysterious lights no fewer than 53 times, making it one of the most reliable ghost lights in existence. The lights are still being observed in Hesdalen Valley to this day, though their frequency has decreased dramatically. In any case, an automatic measurement station set up overlooking the valley in August 1998 still manages to record about 20 sightings a year. So that kind of makes me wonder, like, was the government behind it?
Well, here's an image that's actually taken out there.
Oh, perfect.
Of one of the lights.
See, I've caught these little weird golden streaks. I've caught stuff like that in graveyards.
Okay, so basically what this is
not just graveyards, but
when your aperture is left open.
Yeah.
Like when you're taking a picture, the aperture time, if it's a length of time, what it'll do is it'll stay open, it'll soak in all the light, and if something's moving, it'll leave trails like this.
Okay.
Or if you're holding the camera yourself, you're not perfectly still. You're moving even just a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And you'll create these kind of streaks.
Even if there's no light source that it's like looking at.
Yeah, you won't nothing that you're seeing, but if there's a light source, even minute, something like a little light on a wall plug. If you're not even paying attention, you don't even notice it. But whenever you're taking the picture, you're letting in all this light, and it continually soaks in this light. But as you're taking the picture, you're still kind of swaying or something. You're going to create like the movement.
Well, what about like in a graveyard where it's just little like?
If you're using flash.
Yeah, I guess it could bounce off the stones, but it's not near the stones, though. I don't know.
Some stones
always was interesting.
Some stones will have little solar lights or something that are weak, or even lightning bugs.
So is that the Hasdalen lights? Is that streak right there?
Yeah.
Or is the little white dot?
It's the streak.
So
I think the dot's like one of the stations. The station there.
So what is the whole thing with the the blue, green, and red? Is it just because that exposure that it's just brighter in those sections than
I think they had like some kind of lens attachment on there.
Okay.
And that's kind of a flare into the lens, I believe.
That makes sense. Interesting. Very interesting.
So yeah, and we even did something like that. Josh and I did out at the Brown Mountains, and when we get into that, I'll play the video. It's about a 10-minute video. It shows us using the long exposure, the opening the aperture, and show some like here's a picture that we did out at the Joplin Spook Light, just playing around with his aperture being open.
Oh yeah, exactly. Those are cool.
Yeah, that's a cell phone light.
Well, Heather said those were in the pics that you took at Mom's old house. And Dot Connector says also exploding or overloading electrical transformers may create light.
That's true. I mean, you would also an exploding transformer. You would also hear
Oh, and Daisy just had a good comment too.
I blow off 99% of light anomaly in pictures. See them in real time though. House everywhere I go. See some kind of
See, but
balls.
those kinds of lights are different compared to what Daisy's talking about. She's talking about like a physical ball that doesn't probably leave streaks like that.
Yeah.
Just like the ball, it's here and then here and then here and then here. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
stuff
Now,
like that.
like I said, I've seen light anomalies. And in fact, the video I'm going to be showing you guys is going to be a video of what we captured out at the Brown Mountains.
Nice.
It's going to, like, when we were out there, we had thermal imaging of the lights. And what's astonishing to me is, thermal imaging it doesn't pick up ambient air. Like, if something doesn't have mass, it's not really going to pick it up until there's enough mass there for it to bounce temperature off of, right?
Yeah.
So we were able to actually get one of the lights on thermal imaging. So there's enough density there. We also caught it on long exposure. We also caught it on video.
Nice.
And photo. So I'll show you guys all that here in a little bit.
Yeah. I want to talk about the, well, I guess. So technically the Hornet lights and the Joplin Spook Light is the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing. There's a small town called Hornet just south west of Joplin.
While we're, I guess, at that, we'll talk about a couple of them that are out of the United States here real quick, which I guess we did talk about one already. But so there's the, oh, shoot. So,
we'll get into, Daisy, I'll get into what possibly that could be. And I'm glad you brought up the flame color because that has something to do with it.
All right, so there's also lights that don't just appear to be like orbs, right?
Yeah.
And that's still to me is like a spook-like phenomenon. Like, where does that light come from? So
yeah,
a good example is a fire ship of Baie des Chaleurs at Chaleur Bay, Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada. Almost every time when I'm reading Canada, the word to like out loud, I want to say Canada.
Canada.
Welcome to Canada. Yeah, welcome to Canada, guys. Anyways, so instead of appearing as an orb of light, this particular luminous glow appears as an arc, which some people affirming that it takes on the form of burning 18th century 3-musket schooner, making it a full-fledged ghost ship. Since it generally appears just before the arrival of a storm, some have suggested the phenomena may have something to do with more with static electricity in the air than the paranormal. Although other explanations, from rotting vegetation to undersea releases of natural gas, have also been suggested. On the other hand, perhaps it has something to do with a little-known naval battle between the French and British squadrons that took place in the vicinity of La Baie des Chaleurs. I'm horrible with French, so
right.
Don't even. Like,
I don't blame you.
You can roast me; it's fine. I don't care.
I'm not even gonna roast you.
I'm not specifically.
It'd be a French roast.
Other people too. Call me a French fry. A what?
Because you got roasted.
Yeah.
That doesn't
work. And it was around 1760s when this battle took place. Not only did the skirmish result in the French defeat, but one of the small warships the French lost may have inadvertently created a supernatural manifestation process. Manifestation. I can't barely say manifestation properly. Who knows?
I know. I was going to say some of the suggestions that they said that it could be. I know a lot of people that are trying to debunk it. They like to bring up the whole, I can't remember what it's called, bioluminescence, where you have decaying plants and stuff like that, creating this gas that's illuminating. Bioluminescence is not that bright. Honestly, it'd be like if you had a glow stick out all day and then you let it go all night. Right before it dies out, where it's barely glowing and you can barely even see it, that's where like bioluminescence would range. It's not that bright. Now, if this is on a lake, that's tough because
that's what it said. Like, that's the picture that they have. Let's see if I can.
Now, the only bioluminescence that I can say is actually really bright is there's certain plankton.
the focus is going to be horrible, but it's that weirdish red looking color in the sky, and it reflects off the lake. It reminds me, honestly, of the Northern Lights. It reminds me of phenomena kind of like the Northern Lights.
Oh yeah.
But I don't see a ship. I don't see a ship, honestly. I'm just reading the story, guys. Don't
shoot the messenger.
Exactly. Now, I will say this one in Longdale Lights in Derbyshire, England, is very interesting. So when a place is known by the locals for centuries as a haunted valley, it's a good bet that something spooky is going on. That's definitely the case for this quaint, remote valley in northern England, also called the Devil's Bonfire. These eerie, flickering lights have been known for centuries and have been attributed to everything from fairies and witches to bearing
fairy witches,
right? Fairies and witches to torch-bearing ghosts of Roman soldiers. These reports are often so persistent that mountain rescue teams in the area have turned out on a number of occasions when lights and flares have been reported to the police, only to find that these lights fade away as they approach. This particular spook light is also unique in being one of the oldest known that exist, with reports back to the medieval times, which is that's great. That's quite cool. In fact, reports have been going on so long that police no longer pass on the sighting as mystery lights to useless. They feel it's just genuine sighting of a real distress flare. Like, so they're like, nah, it's not distress flare. It's just weird phenomena that happens.
Yeah.
And here's
somebody's up there. Oh man.
Yeah.
Why aren't they sending anybody?
Like this particular green color that I'm going to show you of it, it's very, very interesting. You wouldn't like. That's a green, and I know it's so weird. So you can see the treetops there.
Yeah.
That's what that looks like, and it's weird.
I wonder if there was. I can't see that picture good enough. Is there like it? Does it look like there's a fog in that?
Yeah, I'll just send it to you. Hold on.
Okay.
It's kind of hazy already, so it doesn't seem like there's a fog, but that could be the clouds on the above.
Yeah, I mean, like it could be the light source, the light energy just going into the clouds, creating it to look bigger than it actually is. But
there you go. Just send it to you. Well, and possibly sent. Waiting.
What?
There it is.
Okay.
So it's an interesting color. Very interesting.
Let me do this. I'm going to share this so everybody else can see it. I don't want to.
Yeah, go for it.
I don't want to be a
douche
here. I'm not going to be a douche here, but that's the image right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very interesting.
It is a blurry-ish photo, so I mean, it could be clouds. Could be fog rolling in with it.
Well, to me, the light looks like it's coming down from the ground, and you can see it kind of up to the clouds. So it's, I don't know what would be causing that, especially that kind of color.
That's tough. Tough to say.
Yep. I agree. It's tough. Good times. So, with that being said, we can let's get to the
Joplin or Brown Mountains.
Well, let's go to the Brown Mountains because the Spook Light Peak District National Park, Derbyshire, England. That's fine.
Yeah, let's do the Brown Mountains.
Let's do it. All right, so I'll read off what I have, and then you can go from there.
Then I can elaborate a little bit.
Yeah.
This video.
Yeah, first observed in the 18th century by local settlers, these reddish orbs of light have been seen by thousands of people over the years and are considered to be...
Everybody keep in mind what he's reading. Because when you see the video, you're going to be like, that's what was reported.
Okay, cool. Over the years, and are considered to be perhaps the best-known spook lights in the world. They were so famous that they were even investigated by the U.S. Geological Survey back in 1922, who determined the lights to have been misidentified automobile or train lights, fire or mundane stationary lights. Interestingly enough, though, however, shortly after the report, a massive flood swept through the area, knocking out all electrical, washing out a number of railroads, highways, bridges, thereby making access to the area impossible and eliminating all other light sources, with the exception of open fires such as the type that moonshiners might create. You guessed it, even after the lights continued to be seen, leading some to wonder about how reliable the government assessment really was. The government, will you really trust what they say?
Yeah.
You can still visit them today, and there's even an observation stand set up for the purpose along the highway 181 near Morgantown. The best time of year to see them is reportedly September through the early November, in case you were planning a trip, which that might have to be one that I have to do in the future.
I concur. This one we went out there was in September.
Oh my God, dude, that'd be perfect. So it says September through November. I'm going to be in the Northeast next year. I could stop by there and maybe witness the brown man.
Now don't. So the Brown Mountain observation that they're talking about there by Morganton.
Yeah.
It's a nice place to park and, like, you know, if you have a lady friend, you know, do whatever. But if you want to see the lights, you'll want to go to Wiseman's View.
Ah, Wiseman's View.
And it's best you have a 4x4.
Oh.
It's a national park out there, and the roads are bad.
So not taking my Honda
No.
on the road. Got it.
No. You can actually camp out there. There's campsites and stuff like that. But we went out to Wiseman's. We went out to the Brown Mountain Lookout. We didn't see anything, but we did hear something out in the woods down in the gorge. It sounded like a friggin' Sasquatch call. That's why I messed with Rick on that video, doing the Sasquatch. I might have the video somewhere. People messaging me.
I understand. Don't they know we have a show, damn it?
Apparently not, after I tell them every time that I have a show.
Yeah.
So with the thing about the Brown Mountain Lights, when we talked to the guy that's he's a director of something, I forget. He works there in Morganton, but he was telling us about the Brown Mountain Lights. I guess they used to call that highway Area 181.
Interesting.
Because a lot of UFO activity was reported out in there. But not only that, but I think it was back in the 60s and 70s, there was some NASA activity out there too. So
really?
NASA was doing stuff out in the Brown Mountains. And then, and there's an Air Force base out there currently out in that area. So they still like to call it Area 181 because of that. But there's a movie called Abduction based on an alien abduction, and that occurred out there in the Brown Mountains.
That was the area?
Yep.
Nice.
Which Josh was not fond of hearing.
Oh, I'm sure he loved that. I'm sure.
After his,
Dave,
so, eventually.
Yeah.
So when we were out at the Brown Mountains, the first night we went to the Brown Mountain Lookout. We didn't see anything, heard the Sasquatch thing, but that ties in later unknowingly.
Nice.
If you think about the two films, and where we went with that theory. So that night we went back to our campsite in Morganton, and then the second night we went out to Wiseman's. And guys, if you want to give this video a thumbs up on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up on this video right now.
Right meow.
Right meow. Because I'm about to play you like the back last 10 minutes almost of the first Into the Light, where we were out at the Brown Mountains. Last 10. And there we go. We got some lights or likes on there. We're out at the Brown Mountains on Wiseman's, and we caught some amazing stuff. Okay,
let's do it.
So you got this. You just type that.
No. Okay, so it's a little like it's a person with a thumbs up going like this, and I was like, I wanted to put it in the comments, but
the comments don't
apparently what is this? StreamYard doesn't understand, but hey, YouTube does. That's all that matters.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is just a segment from the first film, Into the Light. If you want to see the entire film, it is on my YouTube channel, Haunting History. Just youtube.com/Haunting History. You can find Into the Light 1 and 2 on that channel, but this is a snippet from Into the Light 1. This is our Brown Mountain investigation. All right. I'm as bright as I can get without it chopping.
Dawn quickly fell upon us by the time we arrived at Wiseman's View. With enough light left, we were met by the most awe-inspiring view of the mountains.
Oh, this Table Rock. Holy crap, that is amazing.
We were so taken back by...
I'm going to pause it right there for a second. So that Table Rock, rumor has it that there were 2 Native American tribes in the area. And down in that gorge there, they had a battle. And a lot of warriors died. And the women came down there and collected their dead. And that Table Rock, supposedly they used to have sacrifices up there.
Oh my gosh.
This is what I was told. I don't know how much of that is true.
Can they get on the Table Rock? Can you get on top of it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Neat.
And that was one explanation we got for the lights. So that ties in with the whole ghosts are haunting the mountains, and those are the lights.
Tons of dead Native Americans.
So I just wanted to point that out there.
By the view that the worries and concerns of seeing or not seeing the lights momentarily faded away.
Skip that. By the way, Josh has a fear of heights.
Not to your left.
That's not that high.
Yeah, it is.
Very important you don't drop
You're still on the ground, though, right? There's still ground right below you?
Not when you get on these pulpits.
Ah, that's fine.
This
You're on
is
the
absolutely breathtaking.
Once it's dark, you probably can't tell.
Right?
No.
Are you really? Holy
That one right there is Hawksbill Mountain.
wow.
It looks like a
They actually
Hawksbill.
let you guys be out here late at night.
Rick really
Yeah.
is missing this.
Oh, yeah, because I guess that's the best to
Guys,
do
look
it.
at this. Look at this shit. Holy shit.
Cliff down there.
Without realizing it at the time, we inadvertently captured a flicker of light off in the distance. As darkness enveloped the landscape, we employed a new strategy to catching the lights. By opening the aperture on the cameras fully, it allows more light in. For still photos, this made for amazing pictures which could potentially show movement. For video, however, this made the video choppy, yet effective.
Basically what I'm doing is I'm doing a long exposure shot. So basically I'll click and hold for the aperture and it will just remain open, basically soaking in all of the light that it possibly can until I release the button. So basically we'll be able to take shots and things of that nature. Are you ready?
What is this?
This is 30 seconds of a long exposure, or actually I'm just gonna wait till it says 40 seconds. So 40 seconds, long exposure at Table Rock.
Something's streaked across the sky.
That is most likely whatever that is up in the sky. Do you see that thing?
Oh yeah, probably a plane.
It's a plane. Yeah, but that's pretty sweet though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's really neat. That's really cool.
That's how you get those really awesome nighttime shots of a lot of things.
We briefly talked with Andy Laws,
This
who
guy
over
was
the last
smart.
9 years has made monthly visits to see the lights.
This guy has an engineering degree in like farming and stuff, like the agricultural. Yeah, he's got like 2 masters, 2 of them, and he wasn't even older than me. Shit, yeah.
What are we
He
doing?
sounds like a redneck though, straight up.
What are we doing with our lives?
So when you see the light, what does it usually look like?
And generally, they are like circular, orange, orb-looking balls. And matter of fact, I was standing right here at this overlook with a friend of mine.
It's North Carolina. What do you expect?
One popped up about 10 foot from us right here, midair. And it was like a big basketball, orange, that kind of like just pulsated. He jumped into me, I jumped backwards, and we kind of skedaddled. We didn't really know what to do, you know? It's pretty scary.
Shortly after speaking with Andy, David noticed a peculiar light appear at Hawksbill Mountain.
Over here on this mountain, there's not been any human activity. Some of these hills we can see where there's campfires and people camping, but on this other side over here, there's been nothing. And this light, I saw it out of the corner of my eye. It like got really super bright, and then it just went away, and then it came back on. That's when I hit Josh. I'm like, "Hey, Josh, see this?"
So got the flare out, and I mean pretty much 45 seconds after I got this thing up and running, David saw something over here on this mountain range, a light anomaly up top. It was not on the mountain at all. That's what's really bizarre about it. So I was lucky enough to actually capture it for like a second before it blinks once, and then it completely blinks out of existence. Basically, it's gone. We haven't seen it since.
Oh, nice.
You'll see some other lights flashing on the mountain.
There's not been any lights over there all night.
No,
Like the white lights are part of it, but there's one light in particular when it comes to that video.
Huh?
Oh, I got it.
I'm trying to talk to eat peanuts.
Yeah, I got it.
We were seeing the light again over the same mountain.
Look, it's moving.
Oh yeah.
Shit. Did you see the trail?
Yeah, I did.
Look.
So, okay, so we've seen the light again on the same mountain. Josh did a full exposure on it. Apparently the thing moved. I think we can say for sure that that's not a campfire.
It's moving like that? No.
Good. 150 feet? 100 feet? How far do you think that is?
I don't know. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you.
In a matter of
At the
30
top of the
seconds,
rock.
40 seconds for an explosion.
We were lucky
Oh, wow.
enough to catch it on
weird.
thermal
Like a
imaging,
person.
but an hour later, more lights began to appear around Table Rock, and this time, we captured something amazing.
Dave, what just happened?
Well, we've been seeing some lights over on what's known as Hawksbill, and we got a couple captures of that. Well, a little later, on Table Rock Mountain, just to the side of it, there's two humps known as the chimneys, and we were seeing lights on the chimneys.
Two white
so I
lights.
decided to grab my camera, open up the aperture, let as much light in as I could. The footage gets jumpy when you do that, but I was still able to shoot with it. And I wanted to shoot those lights. Well, I noticed that there's a red light off of Table Rock, and when I started shooting it, this red light started moving off of the mountain up into the air, and I mean it moved significantly into the air, and then after a while it disappeared. A few seconds later, another light shows up in midair and then disappears.
All right, I'm gonna pause it right there for a second. So, when you read your beginning story for the Brown Mountains, what color was the light?
Orange and red.
Orange and red. Would you look at that here? Would you just look at it?
Would you look at that? Oh, just look at that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Could it be
Satan?
Satan?
Now, see, a lot of people were actually telling us about an orange or a red light off of this mountain. That was a lot of the reports that we got.
Well, I'd say y'all saw the orange and red light.
Yep. I was surprised my camera was able to do this.
Oh,
So there's
nice.
the light on one of the chimney humps. There's the Table Rock, and then the two humps
Yeah, I'm
there.
getting it right now on video. Oh, it's so bright. The other one's getting up there now.
And I'm going to pre-warn anybody that wants a good laugh. If you ever seen the double rainbow guy, that's what I'm about to sound like. Oh my gosh, you guys!
Dave's getting super excited.
I did. I got super excited. So yeah, just fair warning.
Let it roll.
There's the red light.
There's a red light on tabletop or Table Rock
Is there?
on the right side of it.
Yep.
There's a red light.
Is there other people
I've
with
got it
you?
on my camera right now.
There's
It's
some
not
other
even
people out
touching
there
Table
viewing
Rock,
this.
Dude.
Okay, cool. I was
It's
like, I hear
not.
voices.
Dude, come here.
Come on, God damn it. Just a second.
Yeah,
Dude.
dang it.
I'm trying.
Oh, yeah,
Trying to hustle.
It's fucking moving. It is moving.
It's like me when I find paranormal evidence. Oh my god, you see that?
Dude, come here.
But yeah, it moves significantly off the mountain, like off of it.
Right here.
Oh
It's off of
my
Table Rock.
There's one up on top there. There was a white
Dude.
one too.
Yeah,
Look.
Those other white lights are part of the phenomenon that people witness.
Nice.
The white lights.
It's a red light.
But the red light's
It's right up there.
You saw the.
It's gone.
we saw the red light.
It's gone.
We filmed the red light.
Magical.
Oh, I got that on camera, dude.
About nut on myself.
Oh,
Yeah.
Not. It was on the backside by the chimneys, but it wasn't even on the mountain. It's in the air.
Is it gone?
It's gone. It's.
Oh, and the white light.
Oh no! It showed up over the.
Oh, and it's back.
I'm just
It's
too
gone.
low of a vantage point. All right.
Oh my God! I did.
And that light
there's-
shows up.
Oh, that's cool.
Light's coming back.
Keep it up.
It's up. It's gone now.
And it's back.
There it is.
Oh, there was one down below for a brief second.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Oh my God!
Cool.
Is it way up high?
Yes,
I'm getting it, dude. I'm getting it. I'm getting
it is.
I'm
Gone.
getting it.
It's gone.
Yeah, I got it on here.
UFO.
Long exposure might be fucking crazy. What? The fuck?
The thing about that is that red light just validates so many other claims that people have had who've experienced the Brown Mountain Lights. So for us to be able to validate their experiences and get footage of it, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, I'm so happy about this. I had no expectations on this. After the first night, I'm all shocked. I'm blown away by this. This is amazing. So I don't know how else to describe it. It's an amazing feeling.
Your film grain looks like it's from the 1990s.
Yeah, it was Josh's camera.
Looks like it was a Travel Channel special on Salem. Or not Salem. Salem or...
Our exploration of the spook light phenomena took us halfway across the country and proved challenging, yet successful. We gained valuable insight behind these legends, and for one, we uncovered the truth.
So I'll just end it right there. If you guys want to see the full movie, we actually covered 3 different locations. So if you want to see the full movie, it's on my YouTube channel, the Haunting History YouTube channel. So yeah, that was what we caught at the Brown Mountains. It's amazing stuff when it boils down to. We captured what everybody was seeing. We captured it on a thermal imaging. We caught photo evidence of it actually moving over the trees. I mean, I don't know what else to do except for, well, I do know what else to do. We've been talking about a number 3, but yeah, Brown Mountains. There you have it.
Talk about number 3. I got nothing. I'm done. My hands
Talking about number 3.
Sure.
No, I can't give away what we've. When I said we've been talking about number 3, like me and some other people have been talking about the third part.
Oh.
And going back out to the Brown Mountains.
Do it.
And doing an experiment. But so Daisy, you'll probably enjoy this a little bit. It'll kind of maybe answer some questions to what you were talking about. So after we filmed that and the time in between part 1 and part 2, we come across some information that there was a college, I think it was either in North Carolina or South Carolina, that actually tried to recreate the lights in a laboratory setting. And they were unsuccessful until they started introducing plasma into the generated atmosphere. And it was the same amount of plasma or the same kind of plasma that you would see in candle flames.
Mm.
So when you said something about seeing it looking like a flicker of a candle light, could be the plasma that you're seeing. Now, previous research that I've done for paranormal frequencies, we've talked about the CERN Hadron Collider and the things that they were doing with that, where they were actually successful in creating micro black holes. So when they did this, though, when they created these small black holes, what got left behind were elements of plasma. Okay. So on Into the Light 2, we did a lot of research because of one of the locations. We found out some experiences with UFO sightings. They also had experiences with Bigfoot. We talked about that last week, I think it was. It was last week because I was showing the stuff from Into the Light 2, where we went squatching. So this area had UFO, Bigfoot, and these light anomalies. So doing research, I started noticing that in a lot of these places that have the spook light phenomenon going on, they also have a high concentration of UFO sightings or Bigfoot sightings or both. So, with that being said, if we want to talk about aliens for a second, let's look at how aliens would travel from one point to another point. Number one, they're not going to go at the speed of light, just flying in a straight line, because God knows they'll explode into something. They're not going to just like dodge everything. But now, if the wormhole theory is correct, where they're bending space and time, and they're able to travel from point A to point B by bending it, they've got to create the wormhole or a portal to do so.
Yeah.
Or possibly that's what the black holes are. So when they do that, could they be leaving behind some plasma?
It's possible. I mean, I've always suspected that theory.
Now, Bigfoot, a lot of people suspect is actually an interdimensional being. That's why we can't find bodies, because if one of them dies, they come and collect it, take it back. They're obviously very stealthy for as big as they are. They seem to be a lot more advanced in that primal nature. We don't fully know how much their brain is being used. They might have like certain functions, like their pineal gland. Maybe they're able to use that. Maybe they're able to control their environment. That's why you see, like in the woods, you'll see like structures, or you'll see like trees being bent without breaking. You'll see like manipulation with objects, natural objects, which could be a telepathic kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if they're able to open up these portals with their mind, and the only reason I say this is because quantum physicists have theorized that if we were to use the full potential of our brain, we'd be able to alter our reality just by thinking about it. So if Bigfoot was capable of doing that and was doing this interdimensional travel, would they as well be leaving this plasma behind?
Quite possible.
So now we think about those two scenarios. If these entities are leaving plasma behind, this plasma does not just naturally form out of nowhere in our environment. So we don't necessarily see it all the time. So if we see the spook lights, could that just be an indicator that some type of wormhole or a portal or a rip in space and time had just occurred? And that was just the residue that we're seeing being left behind.
Okay, so how would that explain the traveling, let's say the traveling red light? How would that explain the traveling red light?
Well, it's kind of think of it like a Chinese candle.
Okay.
So if you have the source light, and then say the portal closes and the plasma is left there to free float, and just if it's lighter, the density is lighter than air, then it will float away.
True. True.
I don't know. See, and it's all theory.
Well,
I'm not saying any of it's fact.
Different kinds of light. You got your red, you got your white, your yellows, blues, what have you. There's different colors of light phenomena, so that your theory could still stand with other types of light. And to
go with the colors, when people take pictures of moisture, those vary in colors because of the mineral content.
Yeah.
So if it's got a high concentration of, say, phosphorus, it might be a blue hue. Iron could be like a red hue. So if there's a high concentration of a certain element within the plasma or whatever, that could give it its coloration.
Yeah. Very true. Those are very interesting. I really like where this went. Like, I would have never, so I've always suspected the whole black hole interdimensional travel and stuff, but never thought about the whole plasma residue part of that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And the way I describe it,
I mean, it would make sense if people would during cow mutilations, they would see strange lights out in the fields. Da-da, da-da, get in, get out,
Yep. This whole theory really just kind of built up like in puzzle pieces, and that's how I reference it in part 2 is like this whole thing's a puzzle. And basically what I'm doing is like taking these pieces from this, taking pieces from this and this, and somehow they're fitting to create this bigger image. Like there's got to be some kind of connection to all of this, this paranormal stuff, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, all this stuff. There's got to be something.
Bigfoot is just smarter than we think, and we think it's just some dumb ape animal.
That's what I'm saying.
Like it comes in, mines whatever it needs, and leaves.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We don't know. We don't know.
Could be like a smart primitive kind of thing, like a super smart primitive.
That's like a smart caveman kind of thing. Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Just has that capability of, I'm gonna open this portal. But then again, I mean, if I could open up portals with my mind, I'd also be exploding people on sight.
Maybe there's protocols where they can't do that.
Maybe there's
they can just rip them to shreds.
Like there's an intergalactic agency that would arrest them if they did.
All right, Rick and Morty, calm down. But yes, essentially.
Yeah.
Be interesting. I mean, so CERN, right? So that's a very interesting
subject in itself. Yeah.
Yes.
Especially with the Chinese building, that's going to be like 20 times bigger.
If you guys, I dive into like symbolism and like deeper meaning behind certain things. You should go. So I can't remember if it was CERN or another location, but they would do like opening like rituals to these places where it'd be like music, like a festival, like kind of like a little show put on for it. And some of them just seem really weird and dark. Yeah. So highly recommend you guys look into stuff like that, because the more I've been thinking about it though, it almost seems like aliens are more than just aliens. You know, like there's something definitely more to aliens, and hard to tell. Could be. I mean, I don't know. Yay, nay, because
I would
and
on the surgicalness, I can't see that happening. Where's their equipment? That's the thing. Where's the equipment to do that?
Hidden in their fur, Dave. It's a little compartment where they just
quick Velcroed. Maybe.
I mean,
maybe it's like a really cool ghillie suit that they're wearing.
So I was going to say, maybe Bigfoot's just an alien in itself.
An alien in a ghillie suit.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to blend in like the hunters.
Yes. Y'all think I'm some weird animal. What the heck? Yes. See, Dot knows what I'm talking about.
There it is. Yeah.
It's so weird and bizarre. Thank you for that, Dot. I really appreciate it.
Now
years ago. It was so weird.
I read this article a few years back when CERN was actually opening these black holes. They have these ducts, not like ducks, quack, quack, but like ducts, like air ducts. But these ducts that are like air sealed. They're sealed tight. Like nothing gets in, nothing gets out. Well, apparently when they were opening up these black holes and stuff, something had come through and was in the ducts. This article was all about them finding this something inside one of their airtight ducts. Like they had no idea where it came from.
When science messes with stuff that they don't fully understand, we're going to get weird crap. Like the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
I fully believe that the Mandela effect is real. And I'm not saying that it's widespread like what people think, but I do think things in our reality have been changing over time since CERN has started up.
Do you think the Mandela effect? Do you think maybe the Mandela effect could also be linked to time travel? Like if the butterfly effect actually exists,
how do we know that CERN's not working on that?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, the rumor has it that it's been going on for longer than CERN's been around.
True, but I mean, it's just a bigger process.
But like maybe the Mandela effect is actually just the butterfly effect, where it's changed the Berenstain Bears from one spelling to another.
Yeah. Or the whole Nelson Mandela being alive or not being alive.
Yeah.
Shazam. or not Shazam, but the
Kazam.
heck is
Sinbad's
no?
movie.
Thank you, Sinbad. Yes, like I do remember seeing Sinbad as a genie. Just
But
saying.
I think Shazam was the name of the movie.
Yeah, but that was done by Shaq. Shaq was the star. No,
thought
no,
that
it's
was-
Kazam. That's Kazam.
That's
I'm
Kazam.
Kazam. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Shaq.
So yeah, I mean, it could be a butterfly effect from time travel. Who knows?
Maybe. There's been some weird stuff.
You know what we
good,
need to do?
Huh?
That's what we can do next week. Time travelers, and stuff like that.
Let's do it. God, yes, because there's one specifically that I want to talk about.
All right, time traveling. That's
Yep.
that's what we're gonna do for next week, guys. I appreciate you all hanging out with us and catching the show. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Maybe it got you thinking a little bit.
I've been thinking about that too, Heather. Honestly, yes, I feel like I'm in a completely different world. Anyways, everything has felt so okay.
Isn't that when the Mayan calendar said the world's gonna end?
Yes, and I've been saying for a while now that ever since like the past 10 years, which almost 2022, that's 2012, have felt really weird and bizarre. Something just seems totally off. It's not like just something's weird. And
like it was an abrupt shift. It wasn't like a gradual thing. It's like
no, it's just done.
Like a pothole in the road.
Jump timelines or something. It's so weird. And I've really honestly felt that for a long time because a lot of things that I either remember or I feel is just completely different than what other people remember and feel. And
you can thank the reptilians.
Yep. As John would say. But yeah.
Yep.
Those darn Anunnaki, man.
Damn them.
They coming to Earth and messing with our stuff.
Their slanty eyes.
Speaking of weird and changing things, the Matrix is dropping a trailer Thursday.
Oh yeah,
they released a teaser today saying Matrix trailer drop Thursday. So we'll see.
They're supposed to be releasing the Matrix and another Keanu Reeves movie. They're both opening up the same.
Either Matrix is going to be this year or it's next year, and it's the same way. Either John Wick 4 is this year or next year.
Yeah, they're supposed to. Well, they're supposed to open them both on the same night. That's what they were planning on doing.
They were planning, but I think that's changed now because when you go to Google and look at it, it's 2 different dates.
Stupid.
Yeah, I know. That would be a huge year for him.
Yeah,
like
no
Monopoly,
doubt.
not having the monocle. See that theory though. I always tell people, what if they got like kind of twisted in with the Mr. Peanut or whatever his name is, where he does have him, or not the Peanut, Pringles guy. If you get the Pringles guy and Monopoly guy mixed up, that can go either way.
Yeah, I'd never seen the Pringles guy with a
Curious George with a tail, Curious
monocle.
George without a tail.
Yeah.
Yep. Good times. And then some other ones that I actually talked about. Pretty sure I covered it on an episode of Parageek Radio, but
no, we could talk about some of that stuff later on too.
Yep, absolutely. But yeah, time travel. I'm excited.
Time travel next Tuesday, 14th.
Yeah. Good times.
All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you learned something.
Yes.
Hope you got your minds working, thinking about things a little bit differently. That's the goal, always. So, hope you guys have a good night.
Yeah.
Deuces.
Guys, take care.